Rivers.
How was your read?
My read was pretty good.
You were doing Edgar?
Yeah, I've never read for Edgar, and I hadn't read the whole thing. And there was that one point where I just started tearing up reading the text, just very genuinely, and I went, "Oh wow, I didn't tell him." Like,
Powerful words.
He's got a lot of character in that text.
It's packed.
It is, because I felt the same way the other day. I got to do a read as Sylvia from Two Gentlemen of Verona, and that was such an interesting perspective to be flipped, but her character is embedded in those words.
Who was it for? Or she's both the same person?
I think it was this... Oh, well, it was for a group out of Seattle called Willie's Dead. Yeah. And it was like, we're just going to break the mold on all the Shakespeare plays. So they gender flipped two gents to focus about a female friendship play. It just happens to be an unfortunate love triangle with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
Yeah. It was really neat.
Yeah. Awesome. What do you want to talk about with the fights today?
Well, I had thought about it. I asked, what were some of your, not personal necessarily, horror stories that you've encountered in our field?
The best one that is not my story, but it was called the Fat Jesus story. Because someone else had it.
I've heard this.
Yeah, it was. It floated around the SAFD for a while, the Society of American Fight Directors, for a minute. I don't know who was involved with it, but there was a production. It was like some kind of Easter show or whatever, and there was the actor who had played Jesus had gone out a little too hard one night, out drinking, and got alcohol poisoning. Is everything all good?
Yeah, I'm playing with the gains, which I should have done before we started, but
Nah.
Here we are.
It's all good. Anyway, so the guy who's playing Jesus goes out for drinks one night, has one too many, gets alcohol poisoning. He's in the hospital.
Oh!
So understudy has to come in. Problem is, the understudy is like 300 pounds. And they have like a single pulley, like, fly system. So...
Single being like, you have to load more weight in order to meet it. Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we have, appropriately titled, Fat Jesus, up there on the cross. And the plan is, as I understand it, Jesus was supposed to rise off of the cross, and they had some doves that were a part of the show. The doves would be released, and Jesus would ascend to the heavens, and the curtains would draw. Now, what ended up happening this time, Jesus started to rise, stopped, hinged forward, fell down on his face, and they were like, hey, okay, this is bad. Release the doves, release the doves, release the doves. Problem is, they put the doves too close to those lights that get hot.
And they just
The doves just died throughout the show, because no one's going to go up there to check on the doves. So a bunch of dead birds just start flying down. They're like, close it, end the show, and they just drew the curtain.
Oh my god.
And apparently there's a recording of it somewhere. I don't know who has it, and I would love to see it.
That is sacred. Because you've seen that, there's one on YouTube that a lot of theater people that I've seen have seen, from Into the Woods, where it's clearly a prop cow, and the dude does a quick turn, and its head just flies into the audience right when he's talking about the cow, and it derails the whole show.
Oh, I love
and
it.
someone has to like try and hand it back to him in the middle of it so he can put it back on and keep going. But I haven't had anything. I've never seen anything.
I
so
wish I
glorious.
could have seen something like that. Oh, good.
There was something that happened to me during my high school UIL 1 act. We were doing a show called Company of Wayward Saints, which was like trying to track the translation and the evolution from Commedia dell'arte into realism. And there was a whole bit where there's like this awkward kinds of theater that we have to go through that we just cut out to get to like, all right, great, here's Commedia, now here's realism. This is what we're after because it's UIL. Because like my high school aimed at winning because that was that's how we got funding.
Yeah.
So we had all these trunks filled with props because, you know, we're a traveling troupe of actors.
Moving around.
And so we have all these trunks moving around to create the set, and it's really neat. And right towards the end, towards right after a climactic scene, I was supposed to hop off of mine onto a larger one. And when I did the jump on the day of the performance, my foot punched through the top and punctured a hole the size of a soccer ball.
Oh.
Clean through the top of this trunk. But I still made the jump somehow. Like, miraculously, and, like, narrowly made it and just stood up real quick. And then, like, all right, now we're going.
We're gonna go.
We're just gonna keep going. We're gonna pretend like you didn't see me almost die.
Oh,
So, here we go. And I'm just watching, like, 8 of my other cast members look at me in horror upstage as I'm giving them
Just like, you good, man?
You good? Oh my god, I can't believe you did that. I was like, I know, me too. Just look up.
I think I was, when I was a part of the stunt crew in Maryland for Six Flags, a lot of the times, it was just a bunch of set up houses that were kind of all put together. That was the set.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind could sometimes, you know, upset the show. Because there were a bunch of wasps everywhere that would swarm us throughout the show sometimes.
Charming.
Yeah, there was no shade either.
Great.
So there's no protection from the wind. And throughout the show, we're all chasing this one briefcase. And there's nothing in this briefcase besides one piece of paper. So at one point, there's a piece of choreographed violence where we tosses up the briefcase, and it just goes over the entire house. And we're all in the front of the stage, and we're all like, well, the rest of the fight's supposed to happen out here. So we all immediately turn around and run off stage to try and find the briefcase. And
we
we're
have
all
to
like,
commit to this scene.
yeah.
Get the briefcase.
So we're all randomly running in and out of stage, and everyone's kind of watching us. And we would have regulars. We would have regulars come and watch our show all the time.
Glorious.
Because these people have season passes. And so anytime anything would go wrong in the show, they'd be like, what happened that time?
Hey, man.
You messed up. And it's like, man, I have to do this 3 more times today. And I really don't want to hear it.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. None of that.
But it was good to hear him. It was good to hear him and see him every day.
It's a little uplifting.
Yeah.
To have someone who always comes out.
Yeah, they would always be like, hey guys, hope you're doing well out there. Sometimes they offer us water, but we can't take it.
Troy, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Why are you dressed like a spaceman?
You know, I've had this jumpsuit for a whole while. And I've always wanted to wear it for something. And I feel like tonight's a proper occasion.
Proper occasion.
Yeah. We're talking about fight stuff. It's something I love.
Oh, yeah.
That's the experience.
Fight stories, experiences.
I think one of the best stories we could talk about, or one of the best shows in both of our experiences that we can talk about, is She Kills Monsters. Yeah, absolutely. What a changing experience.
Well, that was our Vietnam. I think that was an awakening. That was certainly something.
That was fun because we had 6 choreographed moments of violence, 7 being us, the puppeteers, as Tiamat.
Yes.
And for each, I think, if I'm not wrong, all 6 of those fights included aerial fights. So we had backups for each fight in case the aerial went wrong, right?
Yes. There was
So
like this hand signal to be like, yo, I couldn't clip in time. We can't do these aerial flights.
Yeah, so we had like 12 fights to have memorized for every single day.
And we had to practice every single one. We had to run through every single one before we did the show.
There were at least, I think, 15 people on stage for every fight.
Yes.
It was insane. And we're running off stage because we're also the ones operating the fly system.
We were operating the fly system. We were the monsters, the lower level monsters that they had to fight because this is a D&D based play.
There were only 5 of us. We were the creature crew.
Yes.
We still have those tank tops.
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
That's a sacred treasure.
Both the Zax.
Oh man.
And K-Pep.
But having to put on these amazing lizard-like basket heads and that tail.
I still have the tail. I have the tail, yeah.
Ooh, our director has a video of you dancing on stage.
With those broadswords? Oh, I miss it. I miss it. That was such a fun time because that show was an entire semester for us.
Yeah.
That was a whole semester show. We came back, we started the first day with broadsword training.
That's true.
Yeah, we did not stop.
And then while
unless we were in a different show, we kept working on that until it was She Kills Monsters.
And then people went and worked on the scenes, those who had lines, while we went off and did weird movement exercises to find all these monsters
in
our bodies and to be able to get used to it and fight as each monster.
Now,
Oh.
the worst thing for me during that was I had done a film thing for the communication school with Zach.
The kind of art you don't want to do.
Yeah, the kind of art you don't want to do when you get second-degree burns all over the top of you.
I mean, that's the kind of art you don't want to do. Absolutely help people, within similar fields.
Yeah.
But within reason.
Within reason,
Don't sacrifice
and,
your body.
Don't think ahead, bring sunscreen, because they're probably not going to think of you.
Yeah.
Which is the sad thing,
Yeah, they don't.
You can't rely on them.
Like, when, I remember one time I was getting screened to be, potential casting in this independent film. And it was supposed to have an intimate scene, so I was asking questions about it.
Yeah.
And the guy was, talking around the answers. And then I messaged him back with a couple more questions. Followed up a week later, and he was like, "Oh, we already cast it." And I was like,
great.
Okay, so no great loss, because you wouldn't have cared about me.
You wouldn't have taken the chance. You wouldn't have taken the moment to ask me.
Yeah.
But
second-degree burns.
Yeah, the burns. I've gotten those burns from the top, and so we had to wear those black skin tight morph suits that we would keep changing on and off these, have to be tightened. Elastic.
Leather bracers.
Oh, God, it hurt.
All different kinds.
It hurt.
Dude, those costumes
We had to
were
rip
rad.
those on and off. They were amazing. And that stage crew, my God. We had three different stage managers.
God bless
three
every
main
single
stage
one of them.
managers. They were insane.
Oh. Yeah.
That was a fantastic show.
Chandler and Ryan, if you're listening, God bless you.
God bless you. And Steph.
And Steph.
Oh.
And Steph.
Do not forget Steph. And that whole costume crew, the amount of times we just sat there while they're just strapping on these what was it? It was that plastic. That plastic they used for the kobolds.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That
it was
plastic.
those
We'd just stand there for
yoga mat plates.
20, 30 minutes. Just all right,
strap up.
Strap up. Time to be a lizard.
It wasn't 20, 30 minutes. It felt like a long time though, because we're super delicate, and for whatever reason, someone almost did a backfall with one and fell onto the piece. That was interesting. That was the challenge, just how to move in all of that.
Yeah, and also not how to break it.
Yeah.
Because if you step on the end of that tail's going to break.
If you fall on the back of it, it's going to fold in half and just snap. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
We took some beatings.
Took a stab.
Zach took a...
Yeah. I got kicked in the chest almost every day.
Good time.
The sacrifices we make for our art, Troy.
It was fun, though. I mean, it's live theater.
Grand old time.
Well, it's live theater, It's gonna happen. It's the danger of doing it.
Even when it's rehearsed, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You really don't. But you try to be able to be conscious of it. And the aim, in at least the work I want to do, is I want you to be so precise with what moves you're doing to tell the story of violence that it is a dance. It is literally a dance, and you don't need a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And literally you take a weapon out of your hand and it looks just as violent. That's the goal.
That is.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or depending on what the job is or what it calls for.
Yeah, there's some stylized things. But I think in any sense.
Yes, in any sense you should strive for that.
Yeah. At the core.
That level of, what's the word?
Precision.
Precision, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
So.
I miss doing falls.
Something I want to ask you. What do you like to see combatively? Do you consider yourself a purist? Do you like a bit of be flamboyant in that presentation?
It does depend on the context. Because, I don't want to see... there's a time and a place for certain things, one person just, pushing 10 people aside with, a flick of his wrist and, them all overreacting. There's a place for those kinds of things. Yeah. I do like that.
If that's built into the world, absolutely.
But, I like, I do appreciate the martial aspect. Especially when it comes to film and what I would want to do with it, I want to use it. It's more of a like that's the movement of I don't know. This is not explained well. Like it's not the focus, though it moves through the image.
I got you.
Yeah, like the focus isn't on the moves of what's happening in the fight. It's more of the images and the story that it creates.
The connection between the two fighters.
Yes, and how it looks throughout as you watch the whole fight progress.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's what I want to play with. That's what I think of. And that's what I kind of want to work with. If that's what you're asking, if that's the answer.
I don't know. The answer is
That's
your answer, Troy.
Yeah.
Don't get imposter syndrome on me here.
No. But
Come
that is. That's what I find interesting. I see videos of people moving with, like fight scenes. I see them moving with the moves, and it looks jerky, and I don't find that as engaging. I don't find that as engaging to watch.
Not so
Just
much
as a
live theater, but something maybe a little more popularized that you've seen that you were like, oh man. Like, I'm asking you, like, what's something a little more popularized that you've seen, not local theater, more of like an example, maybe cinema or film where you were like, that's just, yikes. Oh, that hurts. Like, I'm supposed to be able to take this seriously.
I mean,
but
we
it
just
hurts.
rewatched Event Horizon the other day. I love Event Horizon, man.
Yeah,
That's a good horror movie. Ooh.
but fight-wise.
Fight wise? Oh, sorry. I mean, we did watch John Wick recently.
Yeah,
Or John Wick 2.
that's something, yeah, but that's something, like, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, really intense. Something that's a bad example.
Oh, a bad example?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. I love looking at bad fights. All the time. There's so many.
Exactly.
Do you have any on top of your mind? I mean, there's so many that we see.
So, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't discredit any of it. As I've learned about, like, development of SAFD and availability of fight, cinematic or staged combat, it was difficult to access very early on. Like, there were these guys that did it because they were swordsmen. But then, at some point, it seemed like you had people who didn't study the sword, but studied how to present it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an art in its own aspect. But it's in its own aspect. Like, it's separate from real martial arts.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you have, like, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee who made cinemas about, like, no, we're going to do martial arts because we've studied this and we're going to dramatize it. But I guess what I'm thinking of, I do see more often in the stage, is these creators who don't have the historical, and I don't just mean historical, but martial influence. Like, everything they do, no matter what world it's in, just is not altogether doable, like, believable, I guess, to me.
Do you have an example you can think of?
I'm trying not to use specific examples because I don't want to shame artwork.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. But you gotta
Because
have
it's everyone's different career, and, you know, not everything is for me.
That's
Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not good art.
That's true, but you are also the one viewing the art. You have your own valid right to judge it, regardless of what it is, and your opinion is just as valid as anyone else's.
So I guess, like, cinematically, like, The Mask of Zorro, the Antonio Banderas Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
I loved that movie as a kid. Oh, Troy, that made me want to be Zorro.
That's a good
That
time.
was the main thing that made me want to fence. That was one of them. Oh, that movie was great.
That's a great movie
It was
to
a
watch.
good time. It was action adventure and it had swords. And it was swashbuckling.
Yes.
I watched it like a few months ago, and boy, was it swashbuckling. Everything I'm seeing is like, she didn't need to do any of those hops.
It's beautiful. It's
In this
beautiful.
fight.
They're just flying around. There's Moulinaise. It's beautiful.
Some of this is believable. These two actors, between these two, is believable.
That was a weird topic I kind of want to get on real quick. Was when I started doing fight stuff and everything, there was a weird, like, transition I had to go in, or I had to work through, of understanding how the magic works, how to watch it, how to look for it, where you see things, and watching it, and I didn't like seeing it. I didn't like,
It ruins it for you
a little bit. Yeah, there was a small period of time where I was like, I don't want to watch it because I know what's going on. Or I kind of know what's going on. And of course I know that it's all fake anyway. But there's a weird sensation of it being ruined. And I think it was like a semester or two. I just really didn't like watching fights. Especially, like, I started watching... What got me was Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
In a particular large battle, you see his sword, flapping in the wind because it's made of bamboo. Because, they don't use real swords, they use fixie swords. It's like, yeah, I don't believe this.
Come on,
like,
help me out a little bit.
Did no one catch this? Did no one catch this?
I guarantee they did, and they probably went, no one will see
Nah,
it.
no one will see it. And I'm looking at there, I'm like,
no
great.
normal person will see it.
Yes.
I mean,
I have eyes like a hawk, Justin.
Yeah, and to me, that's the art you have to make. You have to make the art that will convince the artist.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of art I want to do.
Because,
like, I don't, and you know what? I care less about, like, if general masses are impressed by it. If I have other artists coming up to me and being like, this is fantastic, this is great, I've achieved. I'm like, all right, cool, signing off.
just gotta be careful about the echo chambers, man.
Echo chambers?
Yeah, it's people telling you what you want to hear.
That's true.
That's the thing.
I don't
That's
know,
the
man.
thing.
I like to think at this point, I can see it, I can hear it now, I can smell it. I'm like,
You're like a Nunu from Teletubbies. You got that snout.
No, that's not me.
No, it's not you?
No, I'm the yellow one.
The yellow The yellow
Lala.
Tubby? You're Lala.
I always felt like a Lala. Look, you did that. Which Teletubby were you when you played outside?
I can't even remember which had which name. Though I always
Tinky
liked...
Winky,
Who was the red
Lipsy,
one?
Lala, and Poe.
Who was the red?
Poe.
Poe. I'm Poe.
Yes. Everyone wanted to be Poe. Everyone's
That's
like, I'm the red one. I'm the dude with the little circle in the middle.
Because I don't want to be purple or green.
You don't want to be that purple giant.
No.
You don't want to be that purple
No.
giant freak. Like,
They're
for whatever
already
reason-
horrifying.
for whatever reason-
Red's a primary color. I can take it. I'm good with it.
For whatever reason, Barney was an acceptable purple, but Tipsy Whipsy or whatever his name was nightmarish. Like, he haunted me, and he could project astral movies through his stomach.
They all could.
I didn't like it. He did it the most.
The thing that got me honestly was Nunu, the little vacuum cleaner.
Nunu.
He scared me because it was this idea of everyone leaves, it's quiet, nothing's going on, but guess who lives in the wall?
I'm gonna eat that
This
pudding.
vacuum cleaner that you think is your home appliance is coming out, eating your food. Horrified young Troy. Horrified young Yorty boy.
Toy Story horrified me.
That's fair.
I
yeah.
always tried to catch my
That's fair.
toys in the act.
My
because I had
sister, my sisters, for years, would move around my rescue heroes.
those.
They would move them around. They would convince me for years that they were alive. They would write me notes.
Oh my goodness.
It was awful. They were terrible to me.
So I particularly was waiting for it because I'm Troy. I've told you this before.
Oh Jesus!
I'm convinced of it.
Tinfoil hat time. We gotta get some music for this.
My house that I grew up in is haunted.
Here we go.
When I was 4, I woke up one particular morning. Morrow, I shall say, because it was 2, 3 a.m. And you know how you do when you're 4 and you gotta oh, I need some water. So I'm trudging down, I hop down out of my bed,
Okay.
waddle, I fling the door open, and this voice says in my ear I can't tell you, I can't remember what it was, but it rhymed. It was run away, run and hide, something comes down the stairs and it's really mean or something. That didn't rhyme, but what it said rhymed, and it warned me about something coming down the stairs. And Troy, this voice was in my ear.
Can you do an impression?
It was right
What did it say? What did it say?
I don't remember.
Please.
I truly don't remember.
Give me like a ghosty voice.
It wasn't a ghost voice.
It wasn't a ghost.
It was
voice?
like a normal man.
Normal voice.
Yeah. And it freaked me out. I ran into my bed, threw the covers over my head, and called for my mom, like you do when you're
like
4.
you do when you're 4. Yeah.
And you hear a voice.
When
in the
you've been
middle of the
alive
night.
for
Yeah. I don't know how many. But, oh man, like, she didn't believe me. And then years later, I'm hanging out with a friend upstairs because we've converted what was the attic into a dorm for my bed. For my brother. Words are hard.
Words.
We converted the attic into a dorm room for my brother because he insisted on having his own room for whatever reason. He was tired of sharing a room with me after 12 years. Go figure.
That's fair.
Go figure. So I'm hanging up there with one of my friends, and all of a sudden my whole body just like starts breaking out in hives. I haven't consumed anything weird. I haven't really come into contact with anything that I'm allergic to. We know what I'm allergic to. And nothing. All of a sudden, huge red spots just start erupting all over my upper body. We go downstairs and it goes away.
That's weird.
It gets worse. You remember those figures you used to see out of the corner of your eye as you turned your head? Just those little figures dart just out of sight at the last second. They lingered for a second for me. Like full silhouettes, like dust cast across a shadow, just standing in the middle of the floor, or in the middle of space. And then they would just step out of sight, because they didn't want me looking at them.
You gotta find some Ghostbusters.
Oh, I am a Ghostbuster.
You've got like a pack?
No, well, I just can tell if a place is haunted, because usually I'll be somewhere, and then something, when I'm totally alone, will tap my left shoulder, or brush it lightly. Like it's like it just reaches across and it gives me one of these on my shoulder on the left side. Always the left side. I always touch it. My right side of my neck gets cold. I look both ways. I'm totally alone.
Now, a lot of us in theater are superstitious.
Superstitious?
Superstitious.
I am stupid-stitious.
Superstitious.
I am very stupid-stitious.
Superstitious.
Stupid-stitious.
Very superstitious. You always hear about like ghosts of theaters.
That's why we have a ghost light.
That's why we have a ghost light. I have had zero experience with any ghosts in any theaters, zero ghosts at all. And when I was working at Six Flags America up in Maryland, they were like, there is Eleanor, who was the daughter of the guy who used to own this park, who died on this park, and her body is buried on this park. And everyone in the park working there would have like, yeah, we've had experiences with Eleanor.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like thrown things at me. Like, I've been here late at night and people have attacked, and things have attacked me. And they had a little shaft. They had a little shaft in the back of the theater that they would throw down children's toys to appease her. Like, some kind of cult. It was crazy. It was, and there was a time I had to go in the back of the theater, like, in back where, like, there was pipes, like, way, way back, there was this bathroom. And it was, like, one light that kept blinking in a mirror, and I was like, this is the worst place to be if there is a ghost. And I had no ghost experience.
That's a big nope.
But I still had no ghost experience my whole time there.
Unfortunate.
I don't look for it.
Dude, I would wake up with scratches on my body. And like people are like, oh, you just do that. No. I mean, like, a long scratch. Like, 2 of them. And then, like, check my nails, and my mom would check my nails, and I would have nothing.
Have you had any theater ghost experiences?
Theater ghost, like I said, just with the touching my shoulder, and then I'll ask someone, by the way, is this place haunted? And they're like, we've heard stories. And I was like, great, good to know. Yeah, that's what I thought. What do you mean that's what you thought? Oh, I'm like, they touch me. As weird as that sounds. They just are like, hey, I'm here for you. I know what you've been through. I know what you've been through. I sense it.
Ghosts are gonna get you.
They're gonna, well, or I'm gonna become one, who knows? They're trying to pull me into that plane of existence. The ghost plane of existence. Alright, we're coming out.
We're coming out of this info hat time. That's enough ghosts and ghouls.
Alright, what were we talking about? Fights? Yeah.
Yeah, something about that. We got sidelined with Teletubbies for a moment.
We did get sidelined with Teletubbies. Ooh. What kind of injuries have you suffered while doing a fight?
Ooh.
Now, and yes, because this is something that happens.
Oh yeah, this is a reality of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Of my own volition, I've taken a quarterstaff to the head so many times. I might as well have like some kind of brain damage.
Oh yeah, we do.
Just twirling that thing and just whack, 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 whack. I've rung my bell so many times.
When I do it behind the head, just
Oh god.
crack.
Oh god.
Hello.
Because I don't want to slow down. I go for it.
So,
I do have, from that she kills, I have, the actress I was fighting had a gladius, and had a dagger in my left hand, thrust to her right leg. She was supposed to parry too with the gladius.
yeah, the actor's parry.
Yeah, the actress parry. She parries a little too far forward, but that's a full weight onto the gladius and slams into my hand. My dagger goes flying off stage.
Oh.
That's why you can see, like, here to here
Oh yeah.
to here. That is one gladius hit because I got off stage, tore my glove off, and the skin was all ripped off. So I had to bandage it real quick, slap the glove back on, and get back on stage for the next fight.
Big ouch.
That was one.
Ooh, also in that show, I was supposed to do this very big run straight at someone, and they were supposed to take the sword and do a straight thrust. And it had gone well every time but once.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And there was something about the look in that eye that told me I should shift my body to the right, because as I follow that eye line, that point is pretty straight on at me. I'm going full sprint, so I'm just gonna do a little worm move. Nah, still got me. It's okay. That only hurt a lot. Okay. It's gonna be okay.
Oh god,
Good time.
that was the best. If I could do a show again and
Absolutely.
and like
At that level, at that tech level, I would take all those hits again.
I would absolutely. I would suffer the sunburn again just to do that show again. Trying to think of another good.
Ooh, I don't think we ever got any injuries. No.
Oh, I have one.
Oh,
Yes,
anyway.
it was first workshop at TXI. It was the last class of the last day. They were doing whips. Yep.
Oh, Troy, I was in this room. I also had an experience.
I have a picture of this. It was supposed to be forward crack, then turn back behind you crack. What happened was, got the forward crack. I go to do the back crack.
That's always hard.
And I try and crack it right before it gets off the ground. So instead of cracking, it wraps around my head and pops right here on my temple.
I took that photo.
Yeah. It's red. And it hurt. Oh, it hurt.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Glorious.
Ever since then, I have to wear glasses.
That same class, I had an interesting experience where I was trying to standard cracking of the whip, and the curl adjusted just right that it caught my butt cheek.
Oh.
On an upper slash on the way forward. And I went, oh,
Ooh.
Like it was an elevation of self-discovery.
Not fun.
A little fun.
Jesus.
A little fun, but not the mark that was left. That was not fun.
Oh God.
Ooh.
It's always fun though to just wake up with the random bruises on your legs.
Oh, I call them combat kisses.
They're there to let you know, hey man,
Hey, how'd you get
you're
there?
rolling around, you're gonna
Having
get
a good
hit.
time. Having a good time.
Yeah, but I'm glad it's all we have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never really ever felt truly in danger on stage of the stuff we do.
And there are some people who make the case when actors get injured that it was the fault of the fight choreographer. And I want to say that a good 75% of the time, probably even closer to 95% of the time, at least for the people that I'm aware of and I have met who are fight choreographers, it's not the case. It's mostly an actor fault, just getting too absorbed in the moment. Because you and I have had slips together,
Yeah.
where there's a look in my eye because I just got really into this scene,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's about to happen in this sword fight.
Yeah. Like, regardless of what's happening on stage, you as a professional actor need to be aware of the safety measures.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how you feel, you need to be aware of the safety measures and abide by them.
And the first safety measure is self-control.
Yeah. That is the way it should be. I mean, we hear tons of stories about people just doing whatever they want, or just, getting lost in the moment.
Joaquin Phoenix is getting kind of infamous for it.
Yeah.
There are moments, particularly in The Joker, he just would not rehearse the fight scenes, apparently. And then I watched a movie, The Master, where there's a scuffle with an actor, and at one point, Joaquin Phoenix was actually slapping the crap out of this dude. I was like, oh,
jeez.
good times.
I think the same thing kind of with Jodorowsky films.
Jodorowsky films?
Yeah, I think Jodorowsky...
That's
Jodorowsky
his style.
would actually attack her.
Isn't that his style, though? He wants his actors to be, like, having a cathartic breakthrough with it a little bit.
Dude, I can't speak for his stuff. I have no idea what he's trying to say half the time.
Watching it, I feel like that's what it is. Like, you gotta be so connected to this.
We gotta rewatch The Holy Mountain.
Did you get it back?
No, Jay still has it.
We gotta talk to someone, right?
Well, it's if anyone hasn't seen The Holy Mountain, watch the trailer. It is not for everyone.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't like the trailer, you will not like the movie.
If you want to be challenged watching a movie,
watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer. If you want a very long and difficult experience, watch a Jodorowsky movie. Not difficult in a bad way. It is something. It's an experience to get through.
I want to get more Jodorowsky films. More crazy films like that.
There's a lot of... Oh, God, what's the other one he has? Dang it, there's a lot. I want to remember it, but I shouldn't. Or I can't.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It is, sometimes. Get lost. You ever felt in danger on stage? Doing fight stuff? What about like a workshop?
I think there was only one instance where I didn't feel so much in danger as much as I felt empathy for someone's partner, and I adjusted things around, and I managed to like nat 20 charisma check this dude to be like, yeah, I just wanna fight with you.
Yeah.
Because he was very clearly, the only experience he had was swinging a kendo stick in his backyard at a tree. And he had no concept of self-control. So I was like, great. I am used to this because I've done Kali. While this is a steel sword, I'm confident in my ability.
I'm confident.
And I would rather take the hit.
That's fair.
And in hindsight, I probably should have just alerted the actual instructor, since I was their assistant, and then had that individual sit down. But I felt like that would have made more of a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And
You wanted to take action and
that
change the situation yourself.
that person was casting me help me eyes, and I was like, yeah, I got you, because I'm worried for you.
That is one thing I always love about a workshop, or especially helping teach a class, helping other people figure out that they can do it too. Because a lot of the time we have to work with, beginner level students, and it's always fun to watch them discover, like, oh, I can do this. I have the power to do this. Oh, this is fun.
It's that, because, oh man, that was me as a kid. Troy, I gotta admit something. Until I was 15 years old, I was in my front yard with a stick, pretending to be a knight for someone, something, just on some kind of quest.
Yeah.
It ended up in my backyard the older I got, just because we had built, my dad was obsessed with this yard. So he built, like, I don't remember what they're called, but vinage grows up it.
Yeah.
And so it was this whole green wall. It was like your own secret garden. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And so I could turn that into
any
kind of field.
Yeah.
Anything. I could turn it into anything with my imagination.
Yeah. Your own little playground.
Yeah, and like we used to have an above ground pool, and it popped twice, and my dad was like, "No, I'm not about to waste more money on that crap." So it just became a circle. That was like my own private duelist ring.
There you go.
I slew so many men
Oh,
in that ring, Troy.
Oh god. I had a plastic lightsaber.
Oh, we all did.
But it wasn't one of the turn-on ones. It was like the opaque colored plastic. They had to like flick out.
We all did.
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
Oh, they were grand.
So much.
Yeah, my mom would get those for my brother and I earned a lot of bruises.
I'm so glad we have actual lightsabers kind of now.
Yes.
We have our glorified flashlights.
The battle ready glow sticks.
Oh, jeez.
As
we should make a video with those. We need to make a fight with those. We really should.
I've been saying we need to do a fight. We were supposed to do a fight on Sunday.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
That was me.
No, don't. Hey, no. Hey, we're good.
No, I understand. It's just, I'm surprisingly busy.
We all
with a Rona going on.
Dude, I was busy too. That whole weekend, I had to schedule like 4 or 5 events, and then on Sunday, I got sick. So I don't blame you for not being able to.
I felt so bad because you always tell me like, hey, we just gotta schedule it. We're good to go. Just tell me what it is, and I did, and it didn't happen, and I was like, dang it.
We're growing.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Because I'll tell some of my friends that we met at workshops sometimes, like, yeah, we're living together, we're doing this. It's like, wait, you two are living together and you aren't putting out fights? You aren't doing these things? It's like, hi, like, why aren't you doing this?
We've been lazy.
We have been.
Yes. Just trying to survive. Trying to pay the rent.
We've been complacent. We really have been. And that's a part of this is I wanted us to get momentum going.
One a week.
To start. What?
One a week.
One a week. We have to. And I also want to start implementing 30-second fights.
That's fair.
Like we have a poll on Monday of a couple different matchups of weapons that are random, like knife and spear. Like just insane matchups. See who would want to see what, and by Friday we have a 30-second clip.
Mm-hmm. If you give me a bit longer, that knife and it could just be a monk battle, because I'll get my punch daggers.
Yeah, but exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But just like something like that. I think people might be interested in that. If they do, please let me know.
You know what?
Let us know something.
You know what? Screw it. We'll just start doing it.
Okay.
And if you care, even if it's like 2 votes total,
it doesn't matter.
Great.
We'll do it.
And you know what? A challenge to us. There's a song that I've been wanting to make a fight to.
Yes.
Or a stick routine to. A 3.5-minute stick routine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We need to get some more of those smaller Ultra Sabers
yes.
things. If we get 2 more of those, we can have all 4. And it'll work. And we can do it. Exciting things to come.
Exciting things to come.
Yeah, we'll get started. Cool.
Momentum.
Oh, hello. Now that you're here,
Consider leaving a like.
maybe a subscription.
Maybe check out that Patreon.
Leave a little donation so we can improve the video quality.
But we appreciate you checking us out.
And while you're still there,
Bonnie Boo Square.